There is a moment in life when loneliness stops feeling accidental and starts feeling chosen. Most people never reach that moment. They escape before it arrives. They distract themselves with conversations that mean nothing, relationships that drain them, noise that keeps them from hearing the truth inside their own head. Machiavelli understood something brutal about human nature. People do not seek truth, they seek relief. Relief from uncertainty, relief from responsibility, relief from themselves. The loner is someone who refuses relief. At first, loneliness feels like punishment. You feel excluded, overlooked, misunderstood. You wonder what you did wrong. But slowly, painfully, you begin to notice something. The people who left were never really there. They were attached to convenience, not to you. They were loyal to comfort, not to truth. This realization does not arrive gently. It arrives through disappointment. Machiavelli believed disappointment was a form of education, a harsh one, but accurate. Loneliness strips away illusions. Without constant interaction, you see patterns clearly. You notice how people change when they gain leverage, how kindness fades when benefits disappear, how morality bends when self-interest is threatened. Crowds hide this reality. Solitude exposes it. This is why loneliness feels heavy at first. You are no longer protected by ignorance. Ignorance feels good, but it keeps you weak. The loner begins to understand that most relationships are transactions. Some are honest about it, most are not. People give attention to receive validation. They give loyalty to receive security. They give affection to receive control. Once you see this, you cannot unsee it. And once you cannot unsee it, you begin to withdraw, not dramatically, not angrily, quietly. Withdrawal is not rejection of people, it is rejection of manipulation. Machiavelli warned that those who see reality clearly often stand alone, because illusion is more popular than truth. Loners are not antisocial, they are anti-deception. They stop performing for approval. They stop explaining themselves to feel accepted. They stop shrinking to fit expectations that were never fair. Silence becomes their first discipline. In silence, you notice your own weaknesses, your need to be liked, your fear of being misunderstood, your habit of overgiving. Loneliness forces you to confront these patterns without escape. There is no one to reassure you, no one to distract you, no one to blame, only you. This is uncomfortable, but it is powerful. Machiavelli believed self-knowledge was more dangerous than any enemy. The loner becomes dangerous to illusion. They stop expecting fairness from people who benefit from unfairness. They stop expecting loyalty from those who never valued it. They stop expecting consistency from emotionally inconsistent individuals. This is not bitterness, it is realism. Realism stabilizes emotions. You stop being shocked by betrayal. You stop collapsing under rejection. You stop taking distance personally. Instead, you observe. Observation replaces reaction. Reaction is what manipulators depend on. Observation starves them. Loners learn to listen more than they speak, not because they lack opinions, but because listening reveals intent. People expose themselves constantly, in tone, in timing, in what they avoid saying. Loners notice. They stop filling silences to make others comfortable. They stop explaining boundaries. They stop justifying decisions. They let discomfort exist. Discomfort reveals character. Some people respect boundaries. Some resent them. Some try to cross them subtly. Each response is information. Loners collect information quietly. Machiavelli believed power belonged to those who understood others better than they were understood themselves. Loners cultivate this advantage naturally. They become selective with access. Not everyone deserves proximity. Not everyone deserves vulnerability. Not everyone deserves trust. Trust is expensive. Once broken, it rarely returns to its original form. Loners protect trust by giving it slowly. They test consistency over time. They watch behavior, not words. They value patterns over promises. Promises are cheap. Patterns are costly. Loners judge by cost. They notice who shows up without being asked, who respects silence, who does not demand emotional labor. Those who demand too much too early reveal insecurity. Insecurity seeks control. Loners avoid control. They value autonomy above approval. Autonomy allows clear thinking. Clear thinking allows long-term strategy. Machiavelli valued long-term positioning over short-term comfort. Loners think in years, not moments. They sacrifice immediate connection for future stability. They sacrifice popularity for self-respect. They sacrifice noise for clarity. Clarity changes everything. You stop confusing attention with affection. You stop mistaking intensity for depth. You stop romanticizing chaos. Loners prefer calm. Calm is often misread as emptiness. It is not. It is regulated power. When you no longer need constant stimulation, you become difficult to influence. You do not react impulsively. You do not chase validation. You do not beg for understanding. This unsettles people. Because predictable emotions are easy to manipulate. Controlled emotions are not. Loners develop emotional discipline in isolation. They sit with discomfort instead of escaping it. They process feelings instead of projecting them. They accept responsibility instead of blaming others. This creates internal stability. Stability changes posture, changes voice, changes presence. People sense it. They may not understand it, but they respect it. Machiavelli knew that authority does not announce itself. Loners embody quiet authority. They do not threaten. They do not boast. They do not demand. They withdraw when disrespected. Withdrawal removes leverage. People can only influence what they can access. Loners control access. This is not cruelty, it is strategy. Strategy protects energy. Energy is finite. Loners stop wasting it on people who drain more than they give. They invest in themselves, in discipline, in skill, in mental strength. These investments are invisible at first, but invisible power lasts longer than visible status. Loners build privately. They improve without announcing progress. They mature without narrating transformation. They become stronger without seeking witnesses. This makes their growth underestimated. Underestimation is advantage. Machiavelli advised appearing weaker than you are. Loners do this instinctively. They let others assume. They let others underestimate. They let others relax. Meanwhile, they prepare. Preparation is what solitude is for, not emptiness, not punishment. Preparation. If you are still listening, still present, still steady, you are already in the process. This is only the beginning. Loneliness begins to reshape how you see power. Not the loud kind, not the obvious kind, but the quiet control people have over themselves. Most people are controlled by their need to be seen, their need to be validated, their need to belong. Machiavelli understood that the strongest chains are invisible. They are emotional. They are psychological. The loner starts breaking these chains one by one. You stop announcing plans. You stop seeking approval before acting. You stop adjusting yourself to fit rooms that were never built for you. This withdrawal confuses people. They were used to your availability, your explanations, your emotional openness. Now there is distance. Distance changes dynamics. Those who respected you adjust. Those who used you resist. Resistance appears subtly. Coldness, sarcasm, guilt, passive aggression. Loners recognize these signals immediately. Machiavelli wrote that enemies reveal themselves through small behaviors long before open conflict. Loners observe without reacting. Reaction gives power away. Silence keeps it. You begin to understand that most people do not want equality. They want advantage. They want emotional leverage, predictability, access. Loners remove access, not dramatically, not cruelly, deliberately. They respond slower. They share less. They listen more. This creates imbalance. Imbalance exposes intention. People who valued you for who you are stay steady. People who valued you for what you provided grow uncomfortable. Discomfort leads to exposure. Some try harder to regain influence. Some attempt manipulation disguised as concern. Some accuse you of changing. You have changed. You have become aware. Awareness is threatening. Machiavelli believed awareness separates rulers from the ruled. Loners step into self-rule. They no longer explain boundaries. Explanation invites debate. Debate invites erosion. They enforce boundaries through action, by absence, by reduced engagement, by calm refusal. Refusal without anger is powerful. It leaves no opening. Loners stop arguing for respect. They walk away from disrespect. Walking away preserves dignity. Dignity is expensive to regain once lost. Loners guard it carefully. This does not make life easier. It makes it clearer. Clarity reveals how many connections were based on habit, not alignment. Habit is lazy attachment. Alignment requires effort. Most people choose habit. Loners choose alignment. This reduces quantity, but increases quality. Loners do not have many people close, but those who remain are real. Real people do not drain you. They do not compete with your solitude. They do not demand constant reassurance. They respect silence. Respect for silence is rare. Most people fear silence because it exposes them. Loners are comfortable there. Silence has already stripped them down. They have faced boredom, insecurity, doubt, restlessness, and survived. Survival builds confidence, not loud confidence, stable confidence, the kind that does not seek proof. Machiavelli warned against displaying strength unnecessarily. Loners practice restraint. They do not correct every misunderstanding. They do not defend every accusation. They do not chase every opportunity. They choose carefully. Choice requires patience. Patience grows in loneliness. When you are alone, time slows down. You stop rushing decisions. You stop reacting emotionally. You stop confusing urgency with importance. Urgency is often artificial, manufactured by fear. Loners resist fear-based decisions. They wait. Waiting filters reality. False opportunities disappear. False people fade. True paths remain. This waiting makes others nervous because most people move to escape discomfort. Loners stay. They sit with uncertainty until it reveals direction. This builds strategic calm. Machiavelli valued calm under pressure more than raw aggression. Loners embody calm. They are difficult to provoke, difficult to rush, difficult to manipulate. Manipulation depends on emotional hooks. Loners remove hooks. They stop oversharing vulnerabilities. They stop giving people emotional buttons to press. They stop reacting to bait. This makes interactions cleaner, but colder. Some interpret this as emotional distance. It is emotional control. Control protects depth. Loners are not shallow. They are selective. They do not give depth to unsafe environments. Depth without safety becomes weakness. Machiavelli warned against exposing inner thoughts to the wrong audience. Loners learn this the hard way, through betrayal, through misuse of trust, through disappointment. These lessons hurt, but they sharpen judgment. Judgment becomes instinct. Loners trust their instincts more than opinions. They sense when something is off, when energy shifts, when respect declines. They act early. Early action prevents damage. Most people wait too long. They stay out of hope, out of nostalgia, out of fear of being alone. Loners do not fear being alone. They fear being compromised. Compromise without alignment erodes self-respect. Loners protect self-respect above comfort. This choice isolates them further, but isolation strengthens them. Strength changes how the world responds. People speak differently to you. Test boundaries less. Assume competence, not because you demand it, because you carry yourself differently. Machiavelli believed perception often matters more than reality. Loners shape perception through consistency. Consistency between words and actions, between values and behavior, between boundaries and enforcement. This alignment creates quiet authority. Authority without noise. Noise attracts challenge. Silence attracts caution. Loners benefit from caution. They are underestimated less over time. When underestimation disappears, distance increases. Distance creates respect. Respect creates leverage. Leverage without cruelty is ideal. Loners do not seek domination. They seek autonomy. Autonomy allows them to choose cooperation rather than dependence. They collaborate, not cling. They connect, not attach. They engage, not entangle. Entanglement traps judgment. Loners avoid it. They value clear exits. Every relationship has an exit point. Loners are aware of it. Awareness prevents panic. They do not beg when things end. They do not collapse when people leave. They do not chase explanations. They let endings be endings. Machiavelli believed clean endings prevent future conflict. Loners prefer clean endings, no revenge, no resentment, no closure conversations, just distance. Distance heals faster than confrontation. Confrontation often feeds ego. Loners starve ego. They focus inward, on discipline, on routine, on purpose. Purpose replaces distraction. Distraction is what keeps most people shallow. Loners go deep. They read, they think, they plan. They build internal worlds that are stable. This stability becomes their anchor. External chaos affects them less. They are not immune to pain. They are resistant to collapse. Resilience is built alone. No one teaches you how to endure silence. You learn by surviving it. Loners survive long enough to master it. Silence becomes productive. Ideas form. Strategies emerge. Weaknesses are identified. Loners work on weaknesses privately. They do not announce growth. Announcement invites interference. Machiavelli advised secrecy during preparation. Loners follow this instinctively. They prepare quietly. When results appear, they seem sudden. They are not. They are accumulated solitude. People ask how you changed. You do not answer. Explanation reduces mystery. Mystery protects autonomy. Loners keep parts of themselves unknown, not to manipulate, but to remain free. Freedom is the real reward of loneliness, not happiness. Freedom. Freedom from expectation. Freedom from obligation. Freedom from emotional dependency. This freedom is earned, paid for with nights of doubt, with boredom, with isolation, but it lasts. If you are still here, still listening, still steady.